Yo, dude. Why, hello, bud. Are you enjoying this art here at the museum? Totally, dude. I do have to say, though, it's kinda odd. I don't know quite what you mean, bud. Well, dude, it has like a 1 and a 3 in it. So it's odd. No, bud. The number is quite even. Don't you see the 4? But dude, it has a 1 and a 3 in it. 1, 3. 2 odd, 1 even. It's gotta be odd, dude. No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay, so we can debate this all day, or we can just get down to it. Which place dictates if a number is even or odd? Well, today on Teaching with Mr. H4. Hey there, math extraordinaire, it's me, Mr. Hernandez, aka Mr. H4, aka Mr. Never Late for Dinner. And today we are going to go over place value, particularly which place determines if a number is even or odd. You probably already have so many questions, so let's go to Zoom and let's figure it out together. So right now we're going to go over some definitions before we dive really into this concept of which place determines if a number is even or odd. First, let's talk about what a digit is and what place value really means. So right here, the definition of a digit is any numeral from 0 to 9. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When I look at our magic artistry number of the day, 134, I have 1, 3, 4. Those are the digits. So when you have a child that like, oh, I see odd digits in it, they see 1, they see 3. But now let's talk about place value. Place value is the value a digit has by its placement in a number. I like to use a chart like this to help me understand place value a little bit better. So over here we have our hundreds, over here we have our tens, over here we have our ones. In the ones place, the values are values of 1. So if I see a 4 in the ones place, that equals 4. I see a digit of 3 in the tens place. What does that mean? Well, that means in the tens place, we have 3 tens. And what is 3 tens? 10 plus 10 plus 10, we have 30. So even though the digit is 3, the number itself represents 30. And right here, we have in our hundreds place, we have 1. The digit is 1, but I have 100. So the value is 100. Over here, if you can see, there's a definition I've also written for expanded form. An expanded form is a way of writing numbers to see the values of each digit in a number. So when I have 134, I can write it as 100 plus 30 plus 4. In terms of determining if a number is even or odd, we're going to want to take in consideration not the digit in the number, but the value that that digit represents in the number. All right, I got a joke for you. What's really odd? A number that can't be split into 2 equal groups. So here's a question for everyone. Now that we understand this idea of digits and place value, can we have a 10 in the ones place. So I started with our magic number 134 and I placed it in our chart. So we have 134. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to add 1 to the side. And every time I add 1, and I drew a little key off to the side, I want us to think about these cubes I have off to the side. I'll explain them in one moment. I'm going to keep adding 1 to this number, 134. So we have one small cube that represents our ones. And then I have a big 10 stick, and that represents our tens. And then I have this big 100 square, and that represents our hundreds. So when I look at this number 134, in my brain, I'm seeing something along the lines of one big hundreds square. I'm seeing 3 of these long tens, and I'm seeing 4 of these small blocks. And what is happening every time I add 1? Well, when I'm adding 1, I'm adding one of the small blocks to the number. So instead of 134, 134, I'm going to add 1. 135, add 1. 136. Remember, when I say add 1, I'm adding one of the smaller cubes. Add 1, 137. Add 1, 138. Add 1, 139. Now, what happens when I add 1 more after 139? I get 130, and then I have 10 over here in my ones. So I'm not going to write the number 1310 because I have not reached 1,000 yet. The number is not 1,310. What ended up happening is on my ones, I have 10 ones now. Well, what can I do when I have 10 ones? Well, if you can see in my little diagram off to the side, a 10 stick is made up of 10 ones. And as much as a 10 stick is made up of 10 ones, a 100 square is made up of 10 10 sticks and 100 ones. So if I find myself having 10 ones in the ones place, I'm not going to write 10 in my chart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 10 that I have, and I'm going to make it, take these 10 ones, they're not disappearing. I'm just going to create a 10 out of the 10 ones. So now after 139, since I'm adding 1 more and now I have 10 ones, I have 100, 3 tens and 10 ones. I'm going to take the 10 ones and I'm just going to put them together and I'm going to make a 10. Because I took those and I brought them over into the tens, I have nothing here in the ones place anymore. So the number ends up being, if I add 1 cube to 139, wrong drawing tool. Clear up some space for us. It ends up being 140. And if you need a little bit more help with understanding, maybe you want to just go back and rewind this section of the video just to see once again how we got to 140. In sum, we have 100s block, we had 3 tens, 3 10 sticks, and then we had 9 of those little small cubes. And when I add 1 more of those and I have 10 ones, I'm not going to place 10 ones down. I'm going to take the 10 ones and I'm going to glue them together and I'm going to make a 10. So since I had 3 tens, when I took the 10 ones and I glued them together, now I have 4 tens. And since I took those 10 ones and glued them together, I no longer have anything in the ones place. because I have nothing in the ones place, I'm going to put a 0 over there, because that's what 0 stands for. Nada. Okay, hear me out. Odd has 3 letters in it. Even has 4. So this lesson was too jam-packed to fit into just one video. So I would suggest clicking this next video in order to see part 2 of this lesson to really understand how place value determines whether a number is even or odd. And don't forget, if you liked what you saw, subscribe.